So back to step 2 in the algorithm, plot. Really the definition of plot, it's if you look for definition on the internet, it's a bit convoluted and a bit vague. My interpretation of plot is the problem and the resolution defined in the third act, or the culmination of the story, first, second, and third act, that have dealt with the problem and the resolution centered around your protagonist. So to simplify, problem solved, or the resolution through the protagonist in the third act. That's your plot.
Most stories, something happens in a story. It's not just, and you can look into a painting and see something happening, but what happens in your story? What type of story is it? And that defines what type of story you're telling. So we're talking about plot, and when we say what happens in your movie, usually there's conflict in all great stories.
There's always conflict. There's no conflict, there's no story.
Right, and so what conflict happens? How do our characters deal with that conflict?
Resolve that conflict.
How do they overcome that conflict? And that gives you your story, and basically that's the plot. That's your plot. How do you overcome
your conflict?
The conflict
Defined.
And I think that's probably as good as you're going to get from us right now.
That is the plot. That is the plot. It's what is the conflict? Identify the conflict, and it can be a number of things, right? It could be
how is it overcome?
It could be poverty. It could be health. So that's the problem, and what's the resolution? And this is all centered around your protagonist. It's all centered around your main character, right? Because whose story is it, and what have they overcome? What have they had to deal with? And that's your plot.
And in some cases, maybe it's not overcome, and it becomes a tragedy.
Correct.
There's lots of different ways you can go, and that gets into genre. So we're not going to go there right now.
Correct.
We're staying on plot. All right.
Well, thank you, man. It was great talking to you. Bye.